Hello. So I'm Tiago. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Wikidata WikiProject COVID-19, which was not something that I did in my normal scientific career, but was in a hiatus between my master's and my PhD, and not something that I did alone. It was a collaborative project on Wikidata. So I hope you enjoy and find it interesting. Let's start by saying that welcome to the WikiProject COVID-19. So this is the front page of the project. The project was created on the 16th of March of this year to handle data about COVID-19 on the Wikidata project. The Wikidata project is a database, it's a knowledge base behind Wikipedia. It doesn't have all the information on Wikipedia, but it kind of aims to have encyclopedic knowledge. So knowledge about anything that is worth mentioning on Wikipedia, for example. So for example, SARS-CoV-2 is really worth mentioning on Wikipedia. And SARS-CoV-2 can be linked to many different concepts. It's not the idea that you could read it. It's just that it's linked to many things. And you can make these connections, these semantic connections on Wikidata, roughly. But we already have data in other places, right? We have many databases and they are awesome resources. So here are some examples of databases that we have worked in the past few months in WikiProject COVID-19. By we, I mean a really large group of people decentralized around the world, volunteering and contributing data to Wikidata. So among these databases that were on the focus of WikiProject COVID-19, you can see the complex portal that has information about macromolecular/protein complexes, the cell source database about cell lines, clinicaltrials.gov about clinical trials, and so on. You have many resources on the internet. And as computational biologists, we often like to integrate these data sets and find interesting relations between data, but this takes a lot of effort, right? It takes some reconciling, and reconciling databases is hard. The identifiers are not always the same. Sometimes you have mismatches. It's time consuming, so you need a lot of work to do this. You need skilled people devoting time to do this, and it's error prone. So everyone that has to reconcile databases may make a mistake, and this makes things hard. If you are in a long research project, that might be okay, but if you just want to explore the data, then it gets too much, and you end up not exploring some hypotheses that you might have. So Wikidata makes it easy to integrate COVID-19 data sets. Easy, it's pushing it a bit too hard, but it makes it easier. Why it makes it easier to integrate these COVID-19 data sets? Because you reconcile them once, and then you can use the very nice Sparkle query system forever. And find relations between these data sets. So, for example, this is an example of a Sparkle query that selects some information from this huge triple store RDF database that is Wikidata. This Sparkle query, which was built on a graphic user interface online, searches for protein fragments that are part of complexes, and these fragments interact with human proteins, and these human proteins bind to some kind of drug. So basically, it's a simple way of looking for drugs that bind proteins that bind SARS-CoV-2 proteins. I mean, it's a bit complex, but it's easy to detail it explicitly in a Sparkle query. And then you find, for example, those drugs that bind human drugs that are targets of SARS-CoV-2 proteins. Drugs that bind human proteins that are targets of SARS-CoV-2 proteins. You get it. All right. And then what I want to see is that are any of this is just a subset of the answers, right? Now I want to see if any of those proteins are, for example, being studied in a clinical trial about severe acute respiratory syndrome. So I can search the clinical trials on Wikidata and further explore this world. And then we search, and then we find that ribavirin is in a clinical trial. It's in a phase 2 clinical trial, and this is the identifier. So very quickly, I could find something very complex integrating a lot of databases by just using the Sparkle queries. And that's very cool. And why I'm telling you this? Well, the main reason is because I want you to also use Wikidata to explore COVID-19. So Wikidata makes it easier to integrate with things, and everyone in Wikidata wants you to use it, to use this data. The data is released in a CC0 license, which means you can really use it for anything you want, but you should give proper credit for the ones that made the discoveries, of course. That's how it works in research, right? And the second thing is that you can definitely contribute to Wikidata, because these searches were made in a not comprehensive, complete search space. Maybe there were other of those drugs that are in clinical trials. Maybe there are other combinations of drugs that bind human proteins. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge, right, in the world. And you definitely have some knowledge, and probably you have some kind of knowledge in structured format, like tables or annotations of papers. And you can definitely contribute that to Wikidata and share this knowledge and make it available for people to query and explore their hypotheses. So we can all get like closer to cures sooner. So once again, I'd like to welcome you to the Wiki project. If you're interested, please check the links in the poster, and you can definitely be a part of this. This is open, it's free, and it's fun. So thank you very much. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's useful for you. Have a good day.